So are the lows now in as we see shorts getting squeezed here? Let's get into it with our daily SPY analysis. It is Monday, March 17th, 2025. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up. Really helps out the channel. I love it. Thank you guys very much so. Consider subscribing if you like the content. And come find me on carnivoretrades.com for swing trading alerts, analysis, and live day trading. We've got a sale on Active Trader, 60% off your first month and 20% off of swing trades. Come get involved in that so we can catch these turns here in the market. But anyways, let's get into it today. One of the things we actually talked about first thing in the morning in the trading room was look for 570 today and 485 on QQQ, and we got that today. Now it wasn't really in the form of we did the Sunday night video last night. It wasn't really in the form of kind of gap and go, but in the same it's power hour right now. Doing the video a little on the early side, but because I think we're essentially home for the day. But essentially, if you just looked at the daily candle, you'd say it's basically the same thing as a gap and go, price action wise, as far as where we traveled to. Volatility decaying hard. We pointed this out last Wednesday, and a lot of people didn't believe that, but you can see it now. VIX back into contango here on the futures, and it's kind of like they just wanted to run it down into that quarterly roll on ES. And now that we're kind of on that new contract, they're flipping this over. I should get my trend lines back normalized tomorrow. So I'm just kind of going with a naked chart right now, and the levels are a little different as we're on the new contract, which is for June. And right now, we did, I'm just going to use SPY as it'll make it easier. We did effectively get to that megaphone, and we're close to it. I mean, I say 570 is kind of right in that wheelhouse. It's probably, I tried adjusting this a minute ago. It's not perfect. I'm probably going to start messing it up now. But you guys get the idea. I'm going to say 570 is where this trend line is. I'll fix it some other time. But in any case, that's the kind of the line in the sand here for me right now. I'm not as concerned with the 200 moving average. I think we can probably shoot right through that. We shot right through it on the downside. This here in the short term is that level. A couple of things about today. You've got back-to-back 90% up days. That's 466 advancers, 34 decliners. One of the things we talked about also in the trading room this morning was the only thing that was down was Mag 7. And they tried selling that until, we predicted a lunch hour, specifically 1 to 1:30 rally. And you can see they started selling the semis right into 1 o'clock. Apple bottomed a little bit earlier than that. You've got the Dow here breaking out at 1 o'clock. QQQ really starting to push up around 1:30. So they were trying to push some of these Mag 7 plays down, and eventually they just gave up. Why? Go back, watch last night's video. Go watch Friday's video. Dealers are unwinding these shorts. We talked about that last Wednesday. The volatility is decaying through 25 VIX. We'll go down to 1950, and we're on our way there. So we should see this kind of continue. Now, are the lows in? For now, yeah. I mean, they are. I'm not saying we can't make a new low at some point, but at least for this week, I think the lows are definitely in, and maybe even into end of quarter. So I think we've seen a little bit of a back off here. You guys, we sold off for 3 weeks straight. I mean, some people were acting like that's it. We're never going down. We're never going to rally again. But bulls are bull copium. But I think it's bare, greed. When you're down this much and you're still buying puts into the hole. I mean, it's one thing to leave a runner, sure, but I talked to people who are opening puts for a move down to 520 on Friday. I mean, dude, that is pure insanity at that point. But in any case here, that's our line in the sand right now that I am watching. And we'll see what we get tomorrow. I think we'll kind of just back off and pause tomorrow until the FOMC, which I think you could see a lot more. Like this could be a preview. I think we could see a lot more squeezing, up to 580 potentially on Wednesday because of the volatility unwind and continued dealer buyback, which we're seeing a lot of. Another thing I do like about this move here is it's much like Friday where we went up, back, sideways, up, back, sideways. It's just stair-stepping up like you'd want to see a market climb, right? It's not this straight line, short covering, just burst here with no structure to it. We're building structure underneath that, which suggests there's a it's not just shorts running for the hills. They're just actually organic buying. But in any case, that's kind of what I'm looking at here. I think there could be another shoe to drop on the bear side. I just don't think it's coming this week, really. I'm not saying there won't be volatility, but That's kind of where I'm at currently. Before we do the Qs, and we'll talk about all these island patterns that I warned about late last week. But look at the Russell. This led today. So small caps leading is usually not bearish. And again, you got that island there. This was the first index into the gap from last week. So small caps leading. But there's your QQQ. Nice island. And it's trying to break out of that right now. What were the other ones we named last night? XLF. Beautiful, beautiful island. I was just hoping for a gap, but I'll take it. Look at that trend line here. I mean, it doesn't draw it up much better than that. I love that third hit Pierce. So, I mean, that's probably headed up to the 50 handle before long. IGV was another one. Beautiful island, and then obviously QQQ. So good stuff here. I think Qs will probably test 490, 500 here. But overall, good action, good move. It's not going to be up in a straight line. But again, when everybody else is losing their head, that's probably a good time. When Goldman and Yardini are lowering their price targets, when we swept the lows on Thursday. Meanwhile, they were nowhere to be found up here. They didn't want to change the price targets up there, but they changed them down here. Yeah, probably start looking to get the other way here. IWM, that level obviously held very nicely. We talked about, a Pierce of 200 being kind of like max move, and 197, and now we're getting a good bid there. So that probably has higher to go here as well. Again, not in a straight line. Dow here flirting with the 200 again and trying to get a close above it. We'll see if the bears try to save it a little bit to leave the door open for tomorrow. SMH here up 1.5 again. Never ignore semiconductor strength. That was green last week. That's telling you something. IGV, nice outside move again, reclaiming the 200 as well. Dow transports were good today. They were way oversold here. So we went into that pivot. I think there was one farther than that. Yeah, right there. So overshot it by a little bit. This is just way oversold. So that's going to be looking for a pretty good rally here over the next day or two. All right. Anyway, interest rates here, 2 years inched higher. So yield curve actually kind of flattened out a bit because 2s and 5s were up, 10s and 30s down. I still like this pattern here on the 10s and 30s for another advance. And again, cratering, that was another thing I forgot to mention. Cratering retail sales today, and the market rallied again. That's 2 days in a row that we rallied despite terrible news. That's the sign of a bull market. When we rally on bad news, that is good. You want to see the market be able to do that. But with yields, they were down earlier, and then they came back on bad news, for yields anyway. So yields still holding up. XHB had a good day today. Again, they held 97.50 by the close Friday. That was good. VNQ, this was one of the biggest leaders today. All day here, up one. I gotta get a new stand. Up 1.89% here, and yeah, good rally there. Also leading was defensives. I know everybody's gonna point to defensives leading, but it's all right as long as breadth is good. And Mag 7 did catch up by the end of the day. Again, we're not looking for new all-time highs tomorrow. We don't really care if defensives are leading. We're just looking for the next turn. That's all we really need to worry about. All right, yeah, XLF, yeah, we talked about that. Very good move. KRE up 1%, KBE up 1.12, and Purdue is up 3. So good moves there. Oil held up again despite weak data. Got a little futures gap there. I think that didn't fill. Yeah, I don't think that filled. So that's there. Still needs to close above 68.10 to trap sellers. XLE led as well. This is another leader. I think we're on time right now for XLE to start rallying. So might need to pull back a little bit there, but I think if it gets through that, this should be working its way up. By the way, look at Exxon breaking out of a big base here. Beautiful liquidity grab a few weeks ago. XOP up 2% there. Still got a lot of work to do. And OAH, same thing, but back above 260 or so, that can squeeze up a bit. Not too bad here. Nat gas, yeah, sitting at the 4 handle. looking a little weak. All right, so this is it's back below the 20 DMA. That may need to retreat to the 50 and that green bar low. That's got, 3-4 pivots here. So that's getting top heavy, but that can consolidate the bigger move though. So be aware of that. Dollar index down a little bit today. I still think this is way overdone down here, and I'm still looking for another push, but not really showing much today. Versus the yen though, it was strong, and that's really what matters for the markets right now. Gold continuing to hold up. This is still going higher. Nothing's changed there. That's going to 31. Silver likely going to 38. And then platinum here had a good day, up 1.36. Palladium still trying to work off of this kind of like bull inside bar, but not really much follow through right now. Copper here, copper just continues to go higher, up 1.7. I mean, I guess next level is really, what, like 510? And I don't even know if that's going to work because, I suppose it's a quarterly, so it might hold up. You might get some supply up there. This is on the May. Oh, so yeah. I don't even know if that would, I don't even know if that's going to act as resistance. Sometimes it's hard to tell with futures that roll every month anyway. All right, Bitcoin here, 84.5, still trying to work off this little base. I'm still, if we can push back above here, above these levels, I'm still looking for 92, and then your outlier is 100,000. I think it can go there. Needs a little bit of work. You got a lot of alts. Alts are green right now. And they're rallying more than Bitcoin is, so that's good. So good sign here for now. But yeah, overall, again, just keep it simple here. Good move. A lot of boxes checked for squeezing. I told you guys, don't fight dealers. They're back now. I told you guys, don't fight them up there. Don't think that they're going to save the market if we go down, and they didn't. But now they're back in play. They're buying back these shorts. All these puts that got bought into the hole down at 520, 530, 540, 545. The maniacs buying 500, like just pure panic buying 500 puts. Short dated too. They're decaying. So those buybacks are having an effect here. It has nothing to do with, the story or this and that. Look, we had tariff headlines today. The market didn't care. Why? Because we're seeing that effect in play. So don't need to make too much more sense out of it than that. But yeah, above 570 here, especially if we can dip tomorrow a little bit and then push it on FOMC, market's going to be in good shape. So anyways, guys, I'll wrap it up here again. You guys take care. Don't forget to come find me on carnivoretrades.com. I will see you guys all tomorrow.